Hi, I'm George, the Weather Dad. Take a look at your upcoming weekend, and it's going to be pretty much normal when it comes to February weather for the most part. First, let's take a look at your Friday, and temperature-wise, well, it's going to warm up nicely. You can see it here in the Ohio Valley. Cold air still lurking up in Canada. And then as we work our way into Saturday, notice what happens. We have a storm system pushing its way through on Friday. That's going to drive some cooler air back down into the Ohio Valley. It's going to be really nice along the Gulf Coast as well as Florida. Then Sunday, look what happens here. In response to the next system moving its way in, temperatures will warm up once again, and that's pretty good news for us right here in the Midwest. Really nice down in Texas as well as down into Florida and pretty much even the Southeast. But notice the cold air now starting to filter its way back down into the northern Rockies. By next week, look what happens here. Cold air starts working its way across the northern half of the country, and there's some bitterly cold temperatures. So once again, with the cold air in place, the question is, where's the precipitation going to be coming from, and when is it going to get here? Let's first talk about your Friday. Very wet. We could be looking at some flooding conditions in Kentucky, Tennessee, and portions down towards the Gulf Coast, possibly even some severe weather. And again, temperatures are going to be fairly warm, or at least above normal, which puts us in the 40s and even 50s here in the Ohio Valley, and that warmer air will work its way north. So a lot of this is going to be falling in the form of liquid precipitation. Good system moving into the west coast. They need the rain out there, and you're going to get hit pretty hard on your Friday. That system moves quickly off towards the east coast. Notice, though, we talked about the cold air now starting to work its way down a little bit here in the northern states, and that's going to have a little bit of snow. California, Rockies, you're going to be seeing some snow in the higher elevations and some rain in the lower levels, and you need the rain out there. By Sunday, notice what happens here. We're looking at some fairly dry weather, but once again, that cold air up to the north, we're looking at some snow up there, but the next energy is going to be pulling its way out pretty quickly. So by the middle of next week, look what happens here. Boom, big storm system, snow across this area here, Michigan, northern Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa. There's going to be quite a bit of snow. Notice these exclamation marks. That's because that's going to be the transition zone. We could be looking at some ice, maybe some snow. It depends on the exact track of the storm. If it falls a little bit further south, the middle of next week could be very snowy for the Ohio Valley, but again, still early to say. But this is a pretty impotent storm system, and as that moves off, it's going to tap in even some colder air. So we're going to get a reprieve from some of the real cold air we experienced in January. This is now February, so the first part of February won't be too bad for most of us, but the middle part looks like it could be a little bit, again, on the colder side. So have a nice weekend, everyone. I'm George, the Weather Dad.